Don't scroll. Stop for just a moment because what you're about to hear is not a coincidence. If these words found you today, there is a reason. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Right now. Your divine soulmate has just made a shocking decision about you, and the energy of that decision is already moving toward your life. You may not know their name. You may not know exactly where they are. Some of you may already know who this person is, while others are still waiting for them to appear. But what matters is this: something has shifted. A choice has been made. A wall has fallen. A fear has been broken. And the universe wanted you to hear this message before anyone else. Take a deep breath and listen closely because your heart needs this right now. For a long time, your soulmate has been carrying emotions they didn't fully understand. They tried to ignore the connection. They tried to convince themselves that it wasn't real. They distracted themselves with work, responsibilities, other people, and endless thoughts. But no matter how far they ran, they couldn't escape the feeling that kept bringing them back to you. Day after day, your energy remained in their mind. Night after night, your presence appeared in their dreams. They would wake up wondering why they couldn't stop thinking about someone who felt so deeply connected to their soul. And then something happened. Something unexpected. Something powerful. A conversation, a realization, a sign, or perhaps a moment of silence that changed everything. In that moment, they finally understood that running away from this connection was hurting them more than facing it. And that's when the shocking decision was made. They decided they could no longer pretend you don't matter. They decided they could no longer hide their feelings behind fear. They decided that whatever happens next, they must move closer to their truth. And that truth leads directly to you. For many of you, the signs have already started appearing. Maybe you've been seeing repeating numbers like 111, 222, 444, or 777. Maybe you've been thinking about someone unexpectedly. Maybe you felt emotional without knowing why. Maybe you've had dreams that seemed unusually vivid. These are not random events. These are spiritual echoes of a decision that is already sending waves through the universe. Your soulmate's heart has entered a new phase. The confusion that once controlled them is losing its power. The doubts that kept them frozen are beginning to disappear. They are starting to see what their soul has been trying to show them all along. The connection is real. The feelings are real. And the future they once feared is becoming something they secretly desire. What makes this decision so shocking is that nobody expected it. Even people around them believed they would continue hiding. Friends thought they would stay silent. Family believed they would keep avoiding their emotions. But deep inside, a transformation was taking place. While everyone else saw the same person, their soul was changing behind the scenes. Every challenge, every disappointment, every lonely moment was preparing them for this exact realization. The universe was breaking down old beliefs and replacing them with courage. The universe was teaching them that true love requires honesty. And now they are standing at a crossroads where they can no longer choose fear over destiny. Imagine your soulmate sitting alone, thinking about their future. Imagine them remembering moments they can't explain. Imagine them realizing that no matter how many paths they explore, their heart keeps returning to the same place. Your energy. Your presence. Your soul. This realization did not happen overnight. It was built through countless signs and experiences. Every memory led them closer to the truth. Every lesson brought them one step nearer to understanding why you entered their life. And now the answer is becoming clear. They are beginning to understand that some connections are written by something greater than logic. Some connections are guided by divine timing. Some connections are meant to change lives forever. And yours is one of them. The shocking decision they made is not merely about feelings. It is about commitment to truth. It is about refusing to keep running. It is about choosing growth instead of fear. It is about opening a door that has been closed for far too long. Whether that door leads to communication, reconciliation, confession, or a completely new chapter, only time will reveal. But the decision itself has already been made. The energy has already shifted. The universe has already responded. And here's the part many people need to hear. While your soulmate was making this decision, you were also changing. You may not realize it, but you have been preparing too. The challenges you faced were not punishments. They were lessons. The delays were not rejections. They were divine timing. Every tear, every moment of uncertainty, every question you've asked was shaping you into the person capable of receiving what is coming next. The universe never wastes pain. It transforms it into wisdom. It transforms it into strength. And right now, your strength is attracting something powerful. The connection between you and your soulmate is becoming stronger because both of you are evolving at the same time. That is why the energy feels different lately. That is why something inside you knows a change is near. Your soul can feel what your eyes cannot yet see. So don't lose hope. Don't assume nothing is happening simply because you cannot see it. Some of the most important changes happen in silence. Seeds grow underground long before they appear above the surface. Your soulmate's decision is one of those hidden changes. It is creating movement behind the scenes. It is opening possibilities that did not exist before. And while the physical world may seem unchanged today, the spiritual world has already begun rearranging circumstances. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust the signs that continue appearing in your life. Because this message found you for a reason. Your divine soulmate has made a shocking decision about you, and the ripple effect of that choice is already moving through the universe. The next chapter is closer than you think, the breakthrough is nearer than it appears, and the story that once seemed impossible is beginning to write itself. Sparkles, but listen carefully, because the deeper truth is even more powerful than what you've heard so far. The decision your divine soulmate made was not easy. In fact, it may have been one of the hardest choices they have ever faced. For a long time they were trapped between what their heart wanted and what their fears kept telling them. One voice said, "Follow this connection. Trust it. Move toward it." But another voice whispered, "What if you get hurt? What if things don't work out? What if you're wrong?" And for months, maybe even years, that battle continued inside them. Nobody around them could fully see it. They smiled when they needed to smile. They acted normal when they needed to act normal. But deep inside, they were carrying a storm. Every time they thought about you, their emotions became impossible to ignore. Every time they tried to focus on something else, your energy somehow found its way back into their thoughts. They started noticing strange coincidences. They started hearing songs that reminded them of you. They started seeing reminders of this connection in unexpected places. And eventually, They reached a point where pretending became more painful than being honest. The universe has a strange way of bringing people face to face with their truth. Sometimes it happens through blessings. Sometimes it happens through challenges. Your soulmate recently experienced something that forced them to look at their life differently. It could have been disappointment, loneliness, a failed situation, or simply a moment of awakening where everything suddenly became clear. Whatever it was, it opened their eyes. It showed them what truly matters. It showed them that life is too short to keep running from what the heart knows. And in that moment, they realized something shocking. They realized that the connection they have with you is unlike anything else they have ever experienced. They realized that no matter how much time passes, no matter how many distractions appear, your energy remains. That realization changed everything. It was the turning point. The moment where fear began losing its control. Right now, even if you cannot see it, your soulmate is thinking about the future in a completely different way. They are no longer asking themselves whether this connection is real. They already know the answer. Instead, they are asking themselves what they need to do next. They are wondering how to move forward. They are wondering how to bridge the distance between where things are now and where their heart wants them to be. And that is significant because action always begins with clarity. Before someone can move toward their destiny, they must first recognize it. Your soulmate is entering that stage of recognition. The fog is lifting. The confusion is fading. The answers they have been searching for are finally beginning to appear. You may have noticed changes within yourself as well. Perhaps you've been feeling more emotional than usual. Perhaps memories have been resurfacing unexpectedly. Perhaps there are moments when you feel their presence even when they are nowhere around. These experiences are not meaningless. When two souls are spiritually connected, energy often moves before circumstances do. Your heart senses shifts long before your eyes can confirm them. That is why this message feels familiar. That is why something inside you resonates with these words. Deep down, part of you already knows that something important is happening. Deep down, your soul can feel the movement taking place behind the scenes. And here's something beautiful to remember. Divine timing never rushes, but it never fails either. What is meant for you will never miss you. The universe is not asking you to chase. It is not asking you to force outcomes. It is asking you to trust. Trust that what is unfolding has a purpose. Trust that every delay has contained a lesson. Trust that every challenge has prepared you for a greater blessing. Your soulmate's shocking decision is only one piece of a much larger story. The universe has been arranging events, lessons, meetings, and realizations for longer than either of you realize. What feels sudden now has actually been building for a very long time. There are moments in life when everything changes because of one choice. One conversation. One realization. One act of courage. Your soulmate may not fully understand it yet, but the decision they recently made has the power to create exactly that kind of turning point. The old version of them is slowly disappearing. The version that hid from emotions. The version that allowed fear to control their future. The version that doubted what their soul already knew. In its place, a stronger version is emerging. A version willing to face uncertainty. A version willing to trust divine guidance. A version willing to take steps they once believed were impossible. And when that transformation reaches its full power, the results may surprise everyone around them. So if you've been feeling discouraged, don't give up now. If you've been wondering whether your prayers were heard, remember that answers often arrive in stages. First comes the spiritual shift. Then comes the emotional realization. Then comes the physical manifestation. Right now, the spiritual shift has already happened. The emotional realization is unfolding. And the physical changes are moving closer with each passing day. Stay open. Stay hopeful. Stay aligned with the love, peace, and confidence you deserve. Because the universe is not finished with this story. In many ways, it is only beginning. And the shocking decision your divine soulmate just made may become the very thing that changes everything. Sparkles.